Welcome, welcome, welcome to the home of Black Titanic. This is Black Titanic in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the home of Black Titanic. Yes. Well, it's been a great evening today, and I'm so happy to come back to y'all to give y'all part two of the Haitian Revolution. And then, as you know, the internet is still on fire with Melody. Yeah, internet on fire. Yes. Hello, everybody. Sunye, my life, Tanya B. Hello. It's 5:41 my time. What time is it in your neck of the woods? Could y'all tell me if I need to put my headphones on? Is it clear? If it's not clear, I have to put my headphone on, okay? Y'all answer that for me. Pamela, hi, how are you doing? I'm gonna go ahead on and do while y'all coming in, put my disclaimer up, okay? Start off with this first. Yes, y'all come on in. Hello, everybody. Hello. Yes, how y'all doing? Just trying to start this off. In the clip of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palms of my hand, the rays of my care, the need of my care, cause I'm a woman phenomenally woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or talk out loud. When you see me passing, you ought to be proud. I say it's in the clip of my heels, the bend of my feet, my hair. Yeah, phenomenal woman, y'all. That's me. Phenomenal woman, that's you. Phenomenal woman, that's Mel. Yeah. One thing about a black woman, in the midst of adversity, in the midst of all kinds of curveball thrown at us, we can fix our hair and go out in the world and feel like a queen. We still gonna make ourselves up. We still gonna look good. We still gonna be strong. Yeah, phenomenal woman. That's me. Y'all saw what I did. I had made that tribute. That's my voice that y'all hear on that. And that is Dr. Mayo Angelo. Phenomenal woman. So y'all know Teacher Copycat. She couldn't stand to see that. Teacher came out the next week with her own phenomenal woman, y'all. Yes, she did. She was a copycat. Teacher Scott was. Yeah, she couldn't stand. That was right after they had went a dog Melody out. Marcel and Tisha was going on a campaign, a social media campaign, dogging Melody out. So that was why I did that poem for Melody. And so Tisha, like she got jealous and did the same poem with just herself dancing. Let's do it again, y'all. Yeah, she was just dancing and trying to say the thing too. Let's see. It's in the clip of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palms of my hand, the rays of my care, the need of my care, cause I'm a woman phenomenally woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or talk out loud. When you see me passing, you ought to be proud. I say is in the clip of my heels, the bend of my feet, my hair. Yes, phenomenal woman. And Patricia Ellis Robinson said, Black woman, or we can bend. We won't break a strong Black woman. Yes, let me keep it going. Yeah, you ain't gonna break a strong Black woman. Yes, that's right, Patricia Ellis Robinson. Yeah. Let me see if this gonna play. This don't hear nothing. Come on, boo. Trying to play this for y'all is awful low. I can't hear nothing. Anyway, let me just get my disclaimer up. Get this disclaimer up and keep it going. Y'all know the drill. Don't own any rights to any songs. Yeah, the disclaimer. Don't own any rights to any songs. Everything on my channel is allegedly for entertainment and for educational purposes. And like I said, if any music pop up, I don't own any rights to the song. But welcome, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the home of Black Titanic. Yeah, Melody Bean, you can't break a strong Black woman. And that's exactly what our narcissistic guy, y'all know who he is, Martel, trying to break Melody down. But get this, y'all, I'm going to say this before I forget it. Now, y'all saw that long note that he left telling that Mel that he didn't want her and just saying bad, negative things about her motherhood, how she was dating while they were married. And so then he ended with saying that it was on on Coleslaw birthday. He ended the letter was telling them told both of them that Sheree Winfield was his lady. Now he shaded both of them. He shaded Melody by attacking her motherhood. Then he shaded Coleslaw by telling her, I'm done with you. Look, this is my new lady. He called her a BB, a bad B. Y'all know what that means? That's what he called her and said that she was his lady on Arian's birthday at that, y'all. Yeah, he shaded both of them. Anyway, we're going to be talking about this too. Let me go to my notes, y'all. We're going to start with Melody. On this thing, Melody is talking about women's need to heal, y'all. So much women's go through that we need to heal from. You know that? Yeah, so let me just go to my Facebook and let me see if I can find it. Here she go. Melody encourage women to heal. This is coming out of my vault. What Melody encouraged women to heal. Yeah. From Black Titanic box. Let's see if we can. The disappearance of Melinda Ford. The disappearance of Melinda still remains an unsolved history. It's a cold case file. Oral history, as told by the elders, is that she was an unlisted passenger aboard the Titanic. She was traveling as a personal caregiver with a European contractor. April of 1912, the Titanic hit an iceberg. I thought about jumping overboard, says Melinda, but I was too scared. Then I thought about sliding down the rope. So, oh my God, they were shooting and all that. Hey, if you can learn how to not respond, keep your emotions intact, because somebody come in and I can go from 0 to 1,000. Yes, I can. And, that's scary to me at times because once I go there, there's no cap for me. I'm just going to give it all out and let it go. And not think twice about it. But that's not a good place to be. I kind of enjoy this peace So let's see what the fans are saying under this. I always say women can change the narrative whenever they want, especially what's dressed up. Some can do it so nicely. Good for you, Mel. The bump up is beautiful, and you wear it well. Maggie say, a new nose. Girl, please, y'all some haters on here. All right, let's see what's going on down here. I'm just strolling through this, y'all. Girl, look at this. There go Melody right there. Okay. Y'all remember this episode where they are meeting and Martel makes a comment about Mel neglecting the kids and then gets mad and storms out when she responds. Right after Mel states that her desire not to be in the combat group was not based on his cheating, but rather her realization of what type of morals and characters he lacked it as a human being. And then immediately Maurice's eyebrows rose up like he understood. When you have that type of relationship about a person, there's no turning back. Right, says Glamour. Brenda says, totally agree. See, what is this, y'all? This is Love and Marriage, straight no chaser, y'all, okay? Is that Martel? All right, y'all. I think that's it. Let's see, let me read one more about Melody. I think Tisha onto something. Mel is giving off misery and unhappy vibes, and it comes off as she wants everybody miserable with her. Who the hell? Never mind.
To piggyback off of what she said, honestly, and just hearing her, I get DMs all the time from women who are saying they're in abusive relationships, and sometimes it's physical as well, not just mentally and emotional, or they're dealing with a narcissist. And if you've never dealt with one, you don't know what that feels like. You don't know the manipulation tactics and the gaslighting and all those things that happen, so you wouldn't get it. But for those of you who have, having the strength as she did as well to walk away from something like that, it's a lot. It takes a lot. Especially, I didn't even ask her, but if she had children involved as well, yes, it takes a lot. So, to anyone on this live, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with you choosing you. There's nothing wrong with you choosing you. And don't let
that's right. Mel said there's nothing wrong with you choosing you. She said there's nothing wrong with choosing yourself, y'all. This man is a narcissist. This man is doing everything he can to destroy this woman, to bring her down. Patricia Ellis Robinson said Martel needs to be careful for what he say about Mel. What you speak in existence, it'll come back on you. Talking about that two-headed sword. Yeah, two-headed snake. Yes. Can you imagine that? The man you got 4 children back. The love of your life that you thought end up being your biggest enemy. Anyway, Nosy Rosie Graham, please, y'all, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Nosy. And share. Angelique, she's saying hello to everybody. And Grandma Sanjay, she's speaking. Sanjay is saying hello, and Angelique, what I miss, hello. You ever miss anything? We just getting started. Okay, so Mel is calling on women to hear, right? She finally realized, got a diagnose of what she been living with, of the snake she been living with. She called him a narcissist. Yeah, that's what she called him. Okay, let's keep it moving, y'all. Y'all remember what upset me was that I got up this morning and saw that this man had taped his kids over a year ago, had drilled them and battered them about their mother. Martel is turning his children, trying to turn his kids against their mother. Did y'all see that? I'm trying, let me find it, y'all. Yeah. I'll go back to that now. Let me find it. Yeah, that is something else. What did I do with it? Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, Martel had the kids on audio, y'all. He had the kids. I'm trying to find it. I thought I had it in here. He had the kids on audio, and the kids was telling him. He said, "Well, what did your mama say?" And the kids was telling him that the mama said that he was a cheater and had a baby. Oh, he talking about, I cried. I thought I cried when they told me that. Then he kept asking them, what else did your mama say? Yeah, that you was a cheater. But then he was trying to cut out the end of it, but he didn't cut it off. The little girl, the little 10-year-old said, well, it was part of our counseling. It was doing counseling, y'all. And then when she went home, she had to explain, she did the assignment. She had to explain to her children what was exactly going on in the household, why do they have separate, household, mom and dad now. Their new normal. It's the new things that they had to adjust to. That girl, that baby, y'all go back and listen to that audio. She gonna say it was counseling. So it was after counseling. That was a male assignment, was to go home, talk to your children and explain to them what's happening. This man he traumatized those kids. He tore up his whole family, but yet he don't even understand that. He gonna put an audio of his children. Like I said, the narcissistic man need a new supply of something. His supply and his target is his children. Because he know that these children could hurt Mel. That's why he was trying to hurt Mel so bad till he said, coleslaw is a better mother than you. And talk about how Knox eat all nourishing food, how she prepare healthy meals for Knox. But he don't mean it. He don't even know Knox. Everything that he said about his son was what we hear Coleslaw saying on those on her live. He do not know his son. He don't know it. Yeah. He gonna throw up this in his. I guess he thought this was gonna make us be mad at Mel, trying to show Mel in the light as a bad mother. But see, he can't understand why is this happening? Because he can't put himself in nobody else's shoes. It's not me, it's you, Melody. He can't see how he has traumatized his family and tore his family up. Everybody know that you be drilling these children. That's a shame. And then gonna share it on damn social media. Yeah. So let's just say he's a jerk. He's a jerk for doing that, for putting his kids on national media like that. When that's a time that the children are hurt, he need to grab them children and hug them. That's what he need to be doing. But anyway, right now, he is enraged. Yeah, Martel is enraged because Mel is not obeying him, y'all. That's his problem. Mel is not obeying him. Look what he said. He said, then I told her that we can drop the case. All she got to do is agree what I asked her to do. That agreement is cut down on the number of people that babysit my children, and the kids' uncle can't babysit them. That's his agreement. He want Mel to do that. Then he said he'll drop the case. That's what he said. But that's what it's all about, controlling Mel. Then he throwing them digs at Melody to try to hurt her so bad by saying that Coleslaw was a better mother. But Coleslaw, he still damn denied you on your birthday. He showed pictures of him and Sheree. Said that Sheree was his lady. That's what he said on your birthday, Coleslaw. So Martel is being arrogant. Martel is being vindictive because he can't control Melody. And because he don't have access to her account anymore. And because Melody refused to give him 50% of anything that she earned. Can y'all imagine that? She divorced this man and anything that she make after that is hers. But he wants 50% of it. Yeah. So the narcissistic personality has him feeling like he's a considerate man. The narcissistic personality having him feeling like he's a man of high values and high morals. After all, my children don't need counseling. They are fine. They got me. I'm a great dad. I'm a great father. And I'm well disciplined. My children don't need no counseling. It's all about me. It's all about you in this narcissistic head. What's wrong with y'all? Talking about my kids need counseling. Something wrong with y'all. Look at me. Don't y'all know who I am? That's it. That's it. And he even said it during a co-parenting class. He said it himself that his kid, he don't think that the children need counseling. Mel told the counselor, well, that is common in the Black community. A lot of us don't believe in counseling. Yeah, but that's how he feels. Nosy Rosa Graham say, is that what a good parent does is try to explain to the children that mom and Hotel Martel is not going to be living together, and explain to the kids that your dad has a new baby? Did Mel lie? No. And that's exactly what Mel's supposed to do. Actually, he should have done that also. He messed it up. But in his eyes, he didn't do nothing wrong. Angelique said it started after he seen the TMZ interview and it turned him down from, oh boy, sorry, that left me. Don Penny said he's going to use their children to get information to use against her. Exactly, Don. That's what he did that for today. That's why he released that audio. He said he had a video too of him talking. Angelique, according to Alabama law, he's lucky that due to her just wanting to be divorced, she could have got full custody for the infidelity, plus he paying her support and alimony. Yes, she's been very fair to this man. She could have asked for full custody. Yeah. Sonya said, I will have the children. Oh, that's gone. Okay. So let me go back to my files, y'all. So I'm talking about now how he boosting his ego up. This boosts his ego up when he's talking about telling his wife that, she's an unfit mother and that his mistress is a better mother than her. See, that's how narcissists work. They got to tear you down in order to boost their ego up. And see, I don't know if Coleslaw caught the shade, but that's what he kept saying all the way through his texts, that Sheree was a bad bee and Sheree was his lady. Yeah, so she was up there smiling and celebrating her birthday because she thought that, he was dissing Mel. But he dissed you too, Coleslaw. Sure did. Yeah. Let me go back to the files and see what I got now. Yeah, I'm going back to my Facebook, y'all. This is something. They always got something going on Love and Marriage Huntsville on the social media thing. Yeah. Let me see what else I got. Okay, here's one. I got this. I'm just gonna read this to y'all. This coming from uh, uh, Melody Sheree fan page, y'all. This is a lady right here. She's writing a letter. She said Martel said coleslaw terminated at least 2 pregnancies. Yeah, he said it. Coleslaw said it too, didn't y'all? So clearly, clearly that relationship ain't all cool like Coleslaw said. They co-parents very well. We have to remind Coleslaw that she said that he made a difference between the children, right? And that he didn't want to get little knocks every 2 weeks like he did the other children. But anyway, let me go on and read the letter. Martel said Coleslaw terminated at least pregnancy. Why is he not posting that in the shade room? Yes, you posted all about Melody. Why won't you post about them pregnancies that this girl done had? Yeah. Why don't you post about this down low character that this Coleslaw said you was involved in? Why don't you post about that? Why don't you post about Coleslaw saying that you was abusive to her? Mm-hmm. Ladies, don't give Martel any something. She got some kind of emoji up there. He oh yeah, don't give him any information because he'll go back and tell Coleslaw. Martel is claiming Sheree and her dog. He has moved on. Yes, he did claim Sheree. They told you on your birthday, Coleslaw. You didn't see that, did you? You up there laughing and celebrating because he was dogging Melody out, but he dogged you out too. He said you are not his woman. That's what he said too. He said you were 15% in a peasant. He also said you was an open gym. Yeah, you his open gym. 15% peasant, open gym. Now everybody say that he don't do her like he do Melody, but yes he do, y'all. Y'all know he gonna come on and shade Coleslaw. Yeah. Every name she got, every name we call her except for one, he put out there. Now, Coleslaw came from Funky Geneva, right? The peasant come from Martel. 15% come from Martel. The open gym. And that girl. Oh, that girl. Oh, no, I'm not going to marry her. Whatever the case, anything negative about Coleslaw come from her man, Martel. Sheree is my lady. That's what he telling everybody now. You don't belong to me. Get that through your head, Coleslaw. You say he'll be back, but yeah, he gonna come back because he said you are an open gym. Get finished with the letter, y'all. So we said that you were 15% in a peasant. He never owns a relationship with you because you are beneath him. That's why he don't give her the time of day, y'all. He hardly give this girl a time of day. All his thinking and his soul belong to Melody. Y'all see, even if it's negative, it's on her birthday. Who is he thinking about? Melody. It's negative, but that's who he thinking about. It's Melody. And that she can't stand. All them years that she dated that man, she still couldn't wipe Melody out of his mind. He even divorced, and Melody's still on his mind. All right. You bring nothing to the table. Whoa, talking about Coleslaw. He is looking for social and economic status. You have neither. Your spandex colon lines generate. Said the colon line says see more. It don't. Well, anyway, your clothing line don't even generate nothing. It ain't enough to hold Martel. So that's the letter that came out, y'all. Yeah, that's the letter that came out. He want to shade Melody, but why not talk about all them abort, them terminations that she gave? Yeah. Anyway, y'all, I think that's all. Let me play coleslaw now. Play coleslaw for y'all. She don't go against Martel. Arian is brave for her life. Listen now.
And come back with the rest of my commentary.
I understand it.
Period.
Especially when it comes to Martel, because we done got into it before, so I know him. Like I know his. I know
Martel's a con artist. That motherfucker gonna hit you where it hurt. That bitch is something else. That motherfucker something else. Melanie knows she better be on his team to be against him. She don't want to be against that motherfucker. Like that motherfucker something else. Me going against him, he probably like, ooh, Arian likes him. But what the fuck is up? And this is what I mean when I.
Yeah, so y'all hear that? She's afraid. She's afraid for her life, y'all. So then I don't know who took these pictures, but Martel is stalking her. This is Melody. She's sitting up there in the restaurant with this young man. Now, Huntsville know this man, and he's a makeup artist. He just don't have to be her boyfriend, just somebody that she's sitting up there with eating with. So look at this.
That she cheated all throughout the marriage.
This is hey girl, hey y'all. I'm gonna turn her voice down.
They showed Melody out and about with this guy at a restaurant, and this was him basically saying that Melody was cheating on him. And if you look closely, Melody does not have on a ring, which makes me believe this was after she decided to leave him. So I'm not quite sure why.
So also, I don't know if y'all heard that this morning, he put this narcissistic man using. Yeah, so y'all saw that, right? I wonder was that hotel peeping and can on everywhere Melody go. Yeah, peeping. She's sitting at the table. Now, this was a few years. They were way, way back, y'all. Way back. That's why I want to know who is the guy in the recording. Who's recording that? I believe it was Martel was recording that, y'all. She can't go nowhere. Do y'all remember when she went to dinner somewhere else? This played out on TV. And Martel stalked her and harassed her and her boyfriend. Not her boyfriend, but her friend that she went out on a date with. Yeah. Martel began to be stalkerish, y'all. He act like he done had a mental breakdown. Okay, so we're finished with that. That we're gonna do. Y'all remember yesterday I was giving y'all a brief history about the Haitian Revolution, right? So I gave y'all a brief history about it. That's in 1791. 1791 August 1791 is when the Haitian Revolution began. And it started with Toussaint Overture. Toussaint Overture deemed himself as the governor and the president of Haiti. It was like 500,000 new free slaves. That's what it was. And they was out of control. So they had took over the island. They were going from city to city, just burning down them sugar canes and the food crops, because that's how all the world around them got rich off of the Haitians in those sugar cane fields. Yeah. At the time, they were really popular for sugarcane. They put out a lot of sugarcane, and a lot of sugarcane made a lot of nation wealthy. Yeah, it was back-breaking work I mean, them women's in the field and men's in the field, they said that they had giant ants out there. You know, ants like sweets. So while they trying to get the sugar cane, the ants are biting them everywhere. Yeah, some of them couldn't make their quota. If they didn't make their quota, they had to be punished. And to punish them, they were buried. The colonizer would bury the Africans alive. Yeah, but they'll leave the head up in the surface and pour all those ants on top of their head just to make them suffer and to have a slow death. Also to punish the prisoner, which are the Africans. Y'all may refer to them as slaves, but I refer to them as prisoners. They would boil them alive or they would hang them. They were very cruel towards those Haitians on that island. So they revoked it. Yeah, they revoked it. And Toussaint Overture was the leader. Okay, well, Toussaint Overture, he had a soft heart, y'all. He kind of had that, like, he believed in freedom for everyone, but yet he was fighting for the liberation of his people. But see, that good heart got him killed because Napoleon, which was supposed to have been the baddest warrior there was mad because those Haitians had took over that island, and Louverture had became big and had a nice reputation as being a great warrior, So Napoleon said he wanted to make a deal to sign a treaty with him, but they tricked him. He thought that Napoleon was going to be a man of his word. And when he went to that meeting, they captured Toussaint Louverture, sent him to prison where he died. Now, they thought that this was going to die down, but it didn't. It just enraged all those Haitians. Yeah, oh no, y'all done killed my leader? No. So anyway, the Haitians, they were called the Brown family. They were the ones that was the warriors. Yeah, they were the warriors. The Browns was the warrior. They were fearless warriors. And Toussaint Overture had already made Dessalines, John Chuck Dessalines, as the next ruler. He was a good choice because Dessalines didn't have no soft spot. He was an unapologetic warrior. He believed in an eye for an eye. When the French army had killed like 500 of his people, he would go and kill like 500 of their people. They went around from plantation to plantation killing the colonizer. Yes, they did. So, Dessalines was a little bit more arrogant than Toussaint. But the tightest into the Titanic, which I'm finna lead into, is that Dessalines, that fearful warrior, that general that led Haiti into their independence in 1803, was the grandfather to Joseph LaRoche. Joseph LaRoche was on the Titanic. He was the only black man on the Titanic that they documented because he was a royalty. Dessalines was his great-grandfather, and also at that time, his uncle, Cincinnati LeConte, was the president of Haiti. So that's why they documented that black man aboard. Yeah. Now y'all can go back and if you research the Titanic and you pull. Hold it. I'm sorry, y'all. If you pull up the Titanic and say black man on the Titanic, he will come up Joseph LaRoche. So that's how the Haitian Revolution is tied into the Titanic, because Desolate grandson was aboard the Titanic when it sank. Also, as you know, my great auntie Melinda, she was aboard the Titanic when it sank also. Now, for all of you experts that gonna ask me to prove it, I can't prove it. It's just history, oral history that's been passed down in the family. Oral history, that's what it was. So I just want to tell y'all that. But I'm gonna tell y'all these. Doing my research, not one white person has to prove that their family was on that boat. All they had to do was say their family was on the boat and they got recognized. But that's just how it is. Anyway, so let me get into the story of the Haitian Revolution. Yeah. Oh my God. So how y'all doing out there? I don't know. How y'all doing? Y'all doing great? Let me read some of this stuff. Okay. Angelique, Carolyn Mentor said, talk to Angelique. You need to get you some rest. Okay, y'all just chit-chatting to each other, I guess. All right. Oh boy, I'm trying to get my thing back in order. Y'all don't know when you gotta call my little grandbaby here to help me out. Shoot. Y'all talk to each other.
I heard Melody. Now he goes.
Oh, there's this. I got it now, y'all.
Saying that her mom told her that he was cheating on her. Yes, and the girl also said it was doing counseling. He said, I cried when I heard that. But this goes to show the proof to y'all that Martel do be drilling those children for information. The little girl told him that he was cheating. That's what mama said. He had another baby. And she ended up and said it was doing counseling. And my mama piggybacked on that and explained to us what was going on. How did we feel about it? Yeah, so Martel don't think his kids need counseling. He don't think nothing he do is wrong.
Yeah, he really don't. Kids don't need counseling. What's wrong with y'all? All right, we're gonna go into the I'm gonna go into the thing now. Let's start off with Joseph LaRue, right?
Welcome to the home of Black Titanic. Please like and subscribe.
LaFouche. Now, he was a black.
Say it again, Kevin.
I gotta get the name. LaFouche. LaFouche. There we go. LaFouche.
That'll work.
There we go. And there he is right there. He was a black passenger. They're very interesting. Yeah, he was from Paris, France. And you see there, his wife was Juliette, daughter Simone, and Lucy. And they were all on board, but he was an engineer actually on the ship. And what had happened, Sharon, is that he died on the ship, but he got his daughter, with his wife and two daughters, onto a lifeboat. So they survived, and his wife was pregnant at the time. Can you believe it?
Disappearance of Melinda Boyd. The disappearance of Linda still remains an unsolved mystery. Over 100 years ago, oral history has been told by the elder, is that Melinda Borden was an unlisted passenger above the Titanic. She was traveling as a personal caregiver and with an independent European contractor.
Yeah, so Joseph LaRue was on board the Titanic. That's like I said, his grandfather was Gaslighting, the general and warrior that led Haitians into their independence. Also, my Aunt Linda was aboard the Titanic. So let's just talk about some of the stuff that they did on there, y'all. Let me find it. So yeah, I know y'all saw the white version of the Titanic, right? But y'all saw I said the white version of the Titanic, but you never have saw the black version. This is the Haitian Revolution.
Africa and sold in America. By the end of the 18th century in Haiti alone, there was a population of more than 2,900,000 African slaves. After becoming
Started from the beginning.
The slave trade with the New World was started not long after the discovery of America. For more than 3 centuries, slave ships continued with their sinister voyages, loaded with their dreadful human cargo. Millions of people were captured in Africa and sold in America. By the end of the 18th century in Haiti alone, there was a population of more than 2,900,000 African slaves. After becoming
Yeah, so that was Haiti. Now, what happened was that he said there was so many millions of slaves that had landed in Haiti. Now, there was some that was put on an auction block and shipped to America, but most of them escaped. They escaped into those mountains, and they named them the Browns, BROWN. And all of them was fearless warriors. All of them. What they did was about their culture, their spirituality, voodoo. Now, y'all gonna get scared of voodoo cause the colonizer got y'all scared of your own spirituality. Now, voodoo is over 6,000 years old. It is African spirituality. It's nothing demonic about voodoo, y'all. Nothing. Voodoo is just believing in the ecology, in nature, that we're one in nature, that God or your higher power put you on earth to take care of the flowers, the trees, the grass, the animals. We are one with the nature. That's what that is, y'all. But they got y'all thinking that voodoo is evil, that voodoo is witchcraft. They said it was witchcraft because our ancestors so in tune to nature, to every plant that was out there that grew on earth was their pharmacists. Every plant that grows out here on earth has healing powers. So they named it black magic and evil because our ancestors was healing with plants. They had never seen that before, y'all. They were ignorant towards the colonizer was ignorant towards nature. Yeah. And y'all know ever since they took over this world, ain't nothing been but war against wars, just wars. That's all they think about. Don't never think about this nature and nourishing the nature. But that's what voodoo is. But that picture that I showed y'all just a few minutes ago it was very important for the Haitians or the Browns to go into war with their own spirituality. The spirituality that they had been taught. So what they did was went and they had a ceremony. And Bookman was over the ceremony. They did a voodoo ceremony before they started the war. Yes. So don't forget now, they trying to tell you that voodoo is the devil. So they tell you the number 666 is the devil too. But that is you. That is what you're made out of. 6 carbon, 6 proton, 6 neuron. Some people say 6 electrons, but anyway, that's what you're made out of. So when y'all see the number 666, y'all be like, oh God, that's the devil's number. No, it's not the devil number. That's what they have taught you. Yes. So let me get on back into it. So we know that they defeated, the Haitian defeated Napoleon, France, and his army and became independent. And let me play this for y'all. This is Dr. Small explaining to you guys more about what voodoo is.
That called that congregation together, and it wasn't done in an instant. It was months of organizing and building up. And the person who was leading this organization was a member, a female priestess by the name of Cecilia Fatima. It should not be seen as surprising that some of the leading figures of the revolutionary process were said to be either believers or practitioners of this New World belief system that we refer to as Voodoo or Voodoo. I like to share my students. Think about what master you must have if you decide to hold your meeting in a swamp of alligators. This conduct, going so far as to take the life of your oppressor, is already there. And the place where that meeting took place, the alligator swamp, that was a place the whites didn't go in because they were really alligators up in there. So very few people could go in and come out. But the black folks had a different relationship with the ecology than whites had. They mastered having this relationship. The whole concept of the Yoruba religion is to know and understand the forces of nature. When you're trying to get free, it's very important to create your own identity. When you want to oppress somebody, the thing you do, you change their name, you change their religion, you change their language. And the Haitians understood that they needed their own language. This is why they speak the French Creole. That's a form of their own language. They knew that they had to go back to their own religion. They went back to Voodoo. And there were people who were Catholic, there were people who were Christian, there were people who were different religions, but they went back to Voodoo, and that codified everybody. It was an African spiritual force that brought the people together. And when African people were brought together, it gave them a common goal. When they had a common goal, then they knew the common enemy. And then they would take care of their own business. And Voodoo is not just a religion. I mean, Africans didn't really have religions. They had a way of life that at best you can call their sacred science in dealing with cosmology and ecology. Intentionality was to make our stuff so fearful and so evil and so scary that we run away from it. And so all you gotta say is that, when I was growing up, if I met this lady and I asked her where she's from, she said she's from Louisiana, I'd be back around, she might know voodoo. She'll put something in my soup.
So that's what the European did. They made us afraid of our own spiritual system.
Yeah, so that was why how Haiti won the war. Yeah, they took their own spiritual system with war with them, you guys, and it made them fearless. Yes, they did. So now let's get to we talked about the Titanic and Joseph LaRue, who was on the Titanic. Now let's get to a little short story of my auntie. How my auntie got aboard the Titanic. Yeah, this is how this book emerged right here. This book right here. African aboard the Titanic. Black Titanic emerged from that. When I was a little girl growing up, the store was real popular in Bessemer, Alabama. Yeah, back in the day, everybody knew that my auntie had drowned aboard the Titanic. And my grandfather would sit me on the porch every night and drill that in my head, y'all. I could still hear him talking. That's just how much that hurted that man, because we were never ever able to find her body. So my grandfather was born like in the 1800s, y'all. I got a lot of stories from him about stuff that was going on in the 1800s. Anyway, but one of the stories was the Titanic. 1912, when the Titanic went down, his sister was on there. It grieved my grandfather to death. My grandfather would go and hire lawyers. They would just take his money. That's all they did. I don't even believe they were looking for my auntie. But when I did my research, it was very difficult. I went up against a whole lot of powerhouses. Like the Titanic is a very powerhouse, y'all. And they didn't want that coming out that black people was aboard the Titanic. But this is my story. I have to tell my story. I'm finna tell my story to y'all. If y'all got time, I'm gonna tell the story. Now, I'm gonna set the stage. But the stage that I'm gonna do in the story gonna be my grandfather. His name is Alexander. I call him X. Melinda, his sister, she's in the story. You got a lady named Ellen in the story. She's biracial, but she looked white. Melinda was going with her brother, Ernest. These are the 4 characters in this story that I'm about to give y'all. Okay? So it took me years and years and years of research, y'all, to find out any books that will talk about the blacks that was on the Titanic. I mean, it took me about 11 years to finally I found a book. The first book that ever came out from eyewitness account back in 1912, they talked about what happened to the blacks that was aboard the Titanic. So I got that. I'm going to show y'all that too. Yeah. And then after that, they deleted blacks away from the Titanic, period. You would never find any books talking about blacks on the Titanic, but that one book that I found. Yeah. So first of all, we finna go here to the Titanic story. Y'all just have to listen, okay? Let's see, part 1. They're gonna be broken up in parts because let's see, part 2, part 3, part 1, and it's part 1.
This is like the basement. It was hot. And this is like the basement. It was hot down there. That's where all the boilers and heater was. That's where all the hard labors was. They call them the black gang because they used to take the coals and have to throw them in the boilers down there, the big boilers the coal that they use for fuels. But before I go on with the letter, let me tell you how they ended up there. The Negroes ended up in the bows of the Titanic, and they were called the Black Gang because it was a coal strike. And during the coal strike, none of the white laborers would go to work. So black men went to work and took their place. So that's how a lot of them got on the Titanic. They'll tell you that, blacks weren't allowed, but it was during that coal strike. And they would have lost a hell of a lot of money if they couldn't go or sell. So that's what happened. That's how a lot of blacks got on there. But anyway, let's start with the letter. As the boat began to sink and water filled the lower decks, only the white immigrants and poor white Americans was allowed to leave. Melinda pushes me through the screaming crowd. This is Ellen, y'all. Melinda pushes me through the screaming crowd, but I held back. I wanted to die with dignity as a Negro, an African, with my brother and friends. Melinda and the other Negro friends begged me to leave Ghana. Who would tell our story as well as notify our families? Now, the water was up to my waist, and while my Negro friends and I was trying to leave the bottom deck, the gate was locked.
Yeah. So what they're describing there is this is the last their life. They're struggling for their lives to survive on there. And this, yeah. And so my auntie is. Let me see. My auntie, according to my grandfather, the lady Ellen that looked like she was white survived, and that's how he got that information. But what she was describing is how the water just rushed in and, took advantage of everyone. Now, the water up to their waist, but it's not going to be without controversy. Remember, this is 1912, and already, you got all this discrimination and racism aboard this ship. So let me keep it going, y'all. Part 2. Got to make sure I got the right one. Part 2.
Began to kick the gate down. Suddenly, the gate opened, and the white crew members began to shoot any black face on sight. My brother Ernest, remember Ellen is describing the scene. My brother Ernest shielded himself in front of Melinda and me, and white crew member shot him in the face. That's some cold stuff right there. At once, a big fat white crew member grabbed Melinda's arm and said, "You have to go take care of my wife. She's in labor." Melinda was screaming with grief. She was in shock. And as we entered the top deck, the white female was in labor. Melinda did hold her tongue. "You're the same people that killed my friends and the love of my life, and you mean you want me to deliver your white baby? You mean you want me to save your white life?" I heard the gun click, says Ellen. I yelled, "I'll help Melinda deliver your baby, but you can't stand over us with a gun to her head. You must leave the room." I yelled, "I want my nurse to go with me." So right now, Ellen is using her white privilege, and she's telling this man that, Melinda works for her, because he thinks she's a white lady. I heard the gun clicked. I yelled, "I'll help Melinda deliver your baby, but you can't stand over us with a gun in our head. You must leave the room." I yelled, "I want my nurse to go with me." Meanwhile, water was rushing fast on the upper deck, and you can hear the minigun shooting, as well as smell death in the air. The man left the room, and Melinda never touched a woman in labor. Instead, she wrote a letter for Alex and wrapped it inside plastic and stuck it down my bra. As the boat sank, water separated.
Yeah, so let me tell y'all something. Let me get rid of this. Yeah, so let me tell y'all this. Now, the white man or the colonizer done shot my auntie fiance in the head and killed him. But the nerve of him, he want to pull her aside because she was the ship nurse to help deliver his wife baby. Now the lady was must have went in pre-labor, because had it been she was already almost full term, they wouldn't have let her on the boat. But that goes to show you they don't look at you as any human beings with any feelings. Now he want to force Melinda to my auntie to deliver his wife baby. He just shot Ernest in the head, who is her fiance. Now Ellen yelled, "No, no, no, no. You can't stand over us with no gun. This is my nurse." Ellen is a black woman, but she looked like she white. That's Ernest's sister. Y'all know back in the day how those colonizers was sleeping to those black women's room, and then they end up getting pregnant. Yeah. But so Ellen came out looking like a white woman. So that's why she told him, you just leave the room, I'll take care of my nurse. So he left the room. Yeah, water rushing everywhere. He killed her fiance. Let's keep going, y'all. Water weapon everywhere. Okay.
Says Ellen. Yeah. I'll help Melinda deliver your baby. But you can't stand over us with a gun to her head. You must leave the room. I yelled. I want my nurse to go with me. So right now, Ellen is using her white privilege, and she's telling this man that, Melinda works for her, because he thinks she's a white lady. I heard the gun clicked. I yelled, I'll help Melinda deliver your baby, but you can't stand over us with a gun in our head. You must leave the room. I yelled, I want my nurse to go with me. Meanwhile, water was rushing fast on the upper deck, and you can hear the minigun shooting, as well as smell death in the air. The man left the room, and Melinda never touched a woman in labor. Instead, she wrote a letter for Alex and wrapped it inside plastic and stuck it down my bra. As the boat sank, water separated us. The pregnant white woman was washed away, as well as Melinda. I was washed overboard. I saw some wreckage that I could cling to. So many black people was in the ocean, and so many Negroes was tossed alive and overboard. Many hours went by. Some Negroes were still swimming, but the rescue boats would just pass them by and pick up whites only. Then Negroes began to do for self, trying to get into the overloaded boats, but whites would kick them away. One white man kicked it, a male Negro. He grabbed the white man's leg, and he flipped everybody in the lifeboat in the ocean. They drowned, except for the Negro. Hours passed. Oh, man, I was freezing. I was freezing at near death, y'all. I was freezing at near death, watching corpses floating by, whites, blacks, children as well. I thought I was hallucinating when a big, strong black man grabbed me. A strong black man grabbed me. He pulled me on a homemade boat with all Negroes on it. Ellen, he called, where is Melinda and your brother? This is taken from the book, The Black Titanic, and Melinda was engaged to Ellen's brother.
Okay, y'all can see what happened to them on board that ship, right? They had all this racism going on up there, and they already felt like they had no business being on that ship. So when the disaster struck, they didn't care what their life was in danger. All they know is that they weren't going to live to get no lifeboat or share no boat with them. So they started shooting the blacks aboard the Titanic. Yeah, some of them jumped overboard. And then when they got in the water, they were trying to climb in some of the boats. They would kick at them, wouldn't even let them in the boat. That's why one of the black guys flipped one of the boats over. I guess he felt like you're going to die here in this cold water with me if you're not going to let me on this boat. Yeah, allegedly, y'all. I got to say allegedly because it's coming from my memory. So anyway, I'm going to finalize this. Now, it's just a little chapter of this book where it's going to talk about what happened to the blacks on the Titanic. Now, it's so similar to what my grandfather was telling me. I was like, oh, wow, the story could possibly be true because what I'm reading is almost identical to what my grandfather was telling me about the Titanic. Yeah.
Okay, y'all. This section right here this is a book that I found maybe 11 years later after trying to research to find any book that would explain whether black people was on the Titanic besides me talking about it. But anyway, I found this book finally. This is from the first-hand account. This is the first book that came out after the Titanic sank in 1912, and I had never seen it before. You will never see this again in any other writings about what happened on the Titanic with the blacks that worked on the Titanic. Now, I'm going to talk about the wireless operator. I'm going to talk about COD messages. And the reason I brought this in because tied to the Titanic was Glenn Bear Woods. He was a black inventor, over 60 patents. And in fact, Thomas Edison, he had to sue Thomas Edison because Thomas Edison was trying to steal and claim his stuff. All the white people were trying to claim his stuff, but he held fast. He was bold. He won all his lawsuits. But anyway, the Titanic was using his wireless operator. He was responsible for the first wireless communication from boats, airplanes, trains, you name it. Glenn Bear Wood. Anyhow, let me just read this. This was the story told by the bystander afterwards on the pier. One husky Italian told the writer on the pier that the way in which the men who were shot down was horrible. His sympathy was with the men who were shot. They were only trying to save their lives, he said. Wireless operator died at his post. On board the Titanic, the wireless operator with a life belt about his waist was hitting the instrument that was sending out CQD messages warning. Struck on iceberg, said this was the warning message, CQD. Should I tell the captain to turn back and help? Flashed a reply from the Copycat, the other book, another boat. Yes, old man. The Titanic wireless operator responded. Guess we'll see. An hour later, when the second wireless man came into the box-like room to tell his companion what the situation was, he found a Negro stoker. Say it again. He found a Negro stoker. Now, aboard the Titanic, another name for stoker is a fireman. They work the bows of the Titanic. Y'all probably have never heard of the bows of the Titanic. Let's just say it's the basement. But that was what happened. That's how the Negro stokers got on there. They had them on as firemen. It was a cold strike in 1912, and all the white laborers refused to go to work. They had built this exclusive, expensive ship, and they were not going to lose no money. So this is how all these black people got on the Titanic, because it was a cold strike. It was a strike. And they started hiring black people aboard the Titanic. So these Negro stokers, they worked in the bows of the Titanic, and they were shoveling coals into the big boiler. That's what they were doing. It was hot down there, and it was very hot. They were later named as the Black Gang. Also, you did have a few white Irish men down there, but I was told they couldn't take the heat like the black men, so they couldn't stand it down there. But let me get on talking. He found a Negro stoker creeping up behind the operator, and he saw him raise a knife over his head. He said afterwards, he was among those rescued, that he realized at once that the Negro intended to kill the operator in order to take his life belt from him. Now y'all know that song. This man wanted a life belt. He was not trying to steal no life belt. And why would he have a life belt in the first place? Why would blacks refuse a life belt? That is the real question here, and that's what we're looking at. But anyway, let's keep on going. Let me read this over. The Negro intended to kill the operator in order to take the life belt from him. So they had refused to give the blacks aboard the Titanic life belt. The second operator pulled out his revolver and shot the Negro dead. And you know what? It's just something how this is so similar to what my grandfather was telling me. Moving on along, so the Negro was shot dead. What was the trouble? Asked the operator. That Negro was going to kill you and steal your life belt. The second man replied, you know what, this pissing me off. You know what, the nerve of them thinking that they would kill this man because this man wanted a life jacket, and they really felt like they were in the right for killing him. Thanks, old man, said the operator. The second man went on deck to get some more information. He was just in time to jump overboard before the Titanic went down. The wireless operator and the body of the Negro who tried to steal his belt went down together. So that's how they gonna say he went down as a thief for asking for a lifeboat.
Yeah, and that's part of that letter that my grandfather had said. He said they were shoe Negroes on the Titanic. And that book that I just showed y'all, what I was reading out of, called The Great Disaster, was the very first book that came out in 1912. This was eyewitness account of how they treated those blacks during the last days aboard the Titanic. They were denied life belt. They were denied to get on those ships, them lifeboat. Yeah, and they was killing them simply for asking for a life belt. Yes, but you know how they turned around. They saw it when they went to the senators started questioning some of the survivors, say like the captain or whoever worked on that ship. They were saying that he was trying to steal a life belt. But either way, why wouldn't you give this black man a life belt? Now, to be honest with y'all, I did read that they were discriminated by class too. That's why it's first, second, and third class. That's why the majority of them, over 90% of them died, was in third class. That's exactly where all the blacks was at too, in third class. You had your second class. They said that Joseph LaRue, here he is, a man of royalty, an electrical engineer, an educated man that had graduated from London. Aboard the boat, they would not even grant him a first class ticket because he was black, but he had a white wife and some children. But to be honest with y'all, most of the people that was saved was from first or second class. And y'all know that black man wasn't finna get no special treatment. Because when the disaster came, they were all for themselves. Sometime I wonder when I be reading about that, where they said they shot that black man and killed that black man for asking for a life belt. I was wondering, was that Joseph LaRue, the Haitian royalty that they were referring to? Anyway, let me read what y'all was saying. And this is out of my book, The Black Titanic. Yeah. If you buy the book, you will see some voodoo and all that in there because that's who my great auntie was. She worshiped an African spirituality, y'all. Anyway, let me just see what y'all saying. Sonia say a YouTuber creator named Aunt Ann flew down there and reported she wasn't there, and the stores was not open, and said Destiny lying. Well, y'all know I'm from Huntsville. I pass there all the time, and it do looks like the store is not open. I did my own video a while back, maybe during the spring when I did my video when I went over there. I told my sister, look, this store looked like it's closed because I saw what Ann showed the outside of the store, got black tents on it. So I went and pulled on the door. It was open. And I went on the inside and talked to the young ladies. I don't think they're working there now because of that controversy with getting a paycheck. But it was a young lady in there, yeah. The store is nice on the inside, y'all, but it's hardly nothing in there. Destiny is living beyond her means. She could have started off just like Stormy. Stormy is a millionaire now. Stormy showed you that little bitty little square little house that somebody had built. Just a one little room that she started in. But now the girl is a millionaire. She could have did her shop like that. Anyway, what else y'all saying? Sonia said, Sonia said, me too. Clamp, you got to see her review. I wouldn't stop laughing. They talking about Aunt Ann. Yeah, she gets some excellent reviews. I like her reviews too, y'all. The Enlightenment. Good evening. All prayers for Melody and her entire family are daily needed. Yes, they need it in our prayer. And this man tried to make a mockery out of Melody teaching. Can y'all imagine that? This little girl, this little girl, he drilling. He drilling this little girl, and the little girl, look 10-year-old Mariah, said that Melody said that he had a baby and he was a cheater. Girl, he tried to throw shade at Melody, but then the little girl said, yeah, in counseling. It was part of that counseling section. It was part of what she had to do when they led counseling was to sit down and explain to her children what's happening in their home. Why is mama and dad separated? Tanya said, example, Clamp, she drank too much and she can't love herself the way she acts. And her son was given to his dad in court. I'm got in the middle of that. I don't know what y'all talking about. The Enlightened, you look so beautiful, Auntie Oma. That's your color. Oh, thank y'all. Son, yay. Stomach is smart and has her business on point. Her home is beautiful too. Yeah, yeah. She started from harm in the beginning. If you ain't got no, even if you had a lot of money and you started your business, that's no guarantee that you're gonna be successful. You got to start from scratch and build them clientels up, and then you go up to the higher ladder. But yeah, that's how Stormy did. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got for y'all today. And you guys keep on having Melody in your prayer. Please order a book. If y'all send me any money for the Black Titanic, make sure y'all specify that's what it's for. Because some of y'all will give me Cash App. I thank y'all, but y'all give me enough money to buy a book, but you don't say. So what I do is my email. I always leave my email in the description, and you guys could order the books through the email. Okay. Thank you guys for the Cash App. Thank you guys for everything that y'all do for me. Thank you for the support. And remember my motto: be happy, be happy, and don't allow these vampires like Martel. People like Martel come to suck the life out of you. Don't allow the vampires to come and suck the life out of you. Good night.